Hello, I'm Maricela Kelleton with the news. In this edition, Benjamin demands fishing revenue, inquiry into the health procurement system, and PNG boxer positive. Minister for Environment, Conservation and Climate Change, Wera Mori, commemorated the International Day of Forests in Oreape Province on Saturday. While the Day of Forest falls on March 21st every year, the minister took time off on March 26 to visit Finchafan.
According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, forests are home to about 80% of the world's terrestrial biodiversity, with more than 60,000 tree species. PNG alone holds one of the largest primary forests of the world. Speaking at Finchafan in Oreape Province, Minister for Environment, Conservation and Climate Change, Wera Mori, said this is why the conservation of our natural environment is important.
In PNG, we have a total land coverage of 465,000 square kilometers, which basically converts to 46.5 million hectares. A third of that are either under forestry concessions or being harvested. We only have a balance of 65 to 70% of cover that is remaining. And as such, given the significance of the threats posed by climate change and the accumulation of greenhouse gases within our atmosphere, it is so critically important that we must now recognize the significance and the importance of rainforests.
Minister Mori further called on Papua New Guineans to respect our rainforests. Around 1.6 billion people depend directly on forests for food, shelter, energy, medicine and income, and PNG is no exception. Salome, Vincent, TVWAN News.
Manu's Governor Charlie Benjamin has demanded portion of the revenue earned from local and foreign fishing vessels operating in its territorial waters to be given to the Manu's provincial government. The governor is appealing to the National Fisheries Authority to take heed of their desire to benefit from the Vessel Day scheme.
Manus, the smallest province in PNG, has limited internal revenue base to support its provincial budget and depended entirely on grants appropriated in the national budget annually. The maritime province, sharing international sea borders with Republic of Indonesia to the west and Federated States of Micronesia to the north, has not benefited directly from its vast fishing resource where the world lucrative tuna fish is located. Governor Charlie Benjamin, in a statement, says that vessel distribution scheme to fishing provinces throughout the country must address this issue as a condition of the Pacific Maritime Industrial Zone development for downstream processing fisheries resources. He said in support of this, his call to National Fisheries Authority is to develop and administer a formula for equal and fair distribution of revenue made from the regional arrangement on VDS as it moves to develop the Medang-based PMIZ. He further stated that PNG is benefiting from the fishing days allocation from the regional arrangement based on the number of fishing days spent in harvesting of resources. The governor is appealing to NFA to take heed of their desire to benefit from the Vessel Day scheme through the revenue distribution to assist them stimulate economic growth and development in the fisheries sector and participate in the downstream policy of the government for onshore processing of fisheries resources. Susan Oreape, TVWAN News.
The Leh Chamber of Commerce and Industry has advised of route changes on the Butibam Malahang Kamkumung roads. Commuters have been asked to be patient as upgrading of the city roads continue.
The Leh Chamber of Commerce and Industry has noted that JVPNG is progressing ahead of schedule and is now working on the section from Bumbu Bridge to Butibam. LCCI President John Byrne said a bypass section has been created to allow traffic. He outlined that effective March 26, no trucks are to go up or down Butibam. All trucks and heavy transport will now go through Kamkumung. This change is expected to be for a period of 6 weeks, at which time JVPNG forecast completion of that section and the opening of more work on Bumbu Road, Hanta and Malahang area. Byrne said Dekenai will progress with the Kamkumung sector, but it will be done in a manner which allows the truck and vehicle access to move as easily as possible. This weekend, Dekenai opens the sector from the bridge to the Salu hardware store for two-way traffic. This is the most effective way of managing traffic, safety and security while progressing the work. Byrne said the arrangement has the sanction of Butibam and Ahi leaders, Department of Works and JVPNG and Dekenai. He said Leh is getting close every day to better access and road. He encouraged commuters to travel safely, be alert, patient and avoid speeding. Salome, Vincent, TVWAN News.
An agreement between the Central Provincial Administration and Livestock Development Corporation was signed on Monday, 28th of March. This is the first of its kind partnership between the two organizations that propels the Central Province government's policy of agriculture in the province. The Central Provincial Administration and Livestock Development Authority have entered into a partnership that will see the Central Province purchase cattle from Salome in the Mori province and shipped into Port Moresby. The cattle will be reared in the Liko district of Central Province. Central Province Governor expressed that agriculture is the way forward for the country's economy and wants the people of Central Province to be active participants of this endeavor to propel the province into a successful agricultural hub. The cattle project is part of the administration's 2 million kina agriculture investment for the province.
So we are driving it into the province now, where we want our people now to be utilized. We want everyone to contribute to the economy. By signing this agreement now and having these agreements in place, we can then start tapping into these resources that are on the ground. Like I said, we all born landlords. We all own land, pockets of land. Our people just need some guidance.
Minister for Agriculture and Livestock John Simon, present for the signing occasion, challenged the governor and his administration to ensure the success of this project.
Central Province, make sure this is not just another agreement we're going to sign. We all have a responsibility to do our part. Let's do anything, everything. Our soil, our land is so rich. We just about can do anything. If we want to do it, nothing stops us. Sky's the limit, I continue to say.
In the coming weeks, the first 2 shipments of 300 cattle will arrive in Port Moresby. The cattle will be reared in Launakalana, Liko district. This is TV1 News. Stay tuned for more after the break. Welcome back. The Special Parliamentary Committee on Public Sector Reform Inquiry into the health procurement system held recently confirmed that there is widespread shortage of medical supplies in all health facilities across the country. It was further discovered through hard interrogation that this lack of medical supplies was due to procurement discrepancies, which points out to the responsibilities of the National Procurement Commission.
The Special Parliamentary Committee led by Governor for Oreape Jufa as chairman asked questions to the National Department of Health technical team led by Secretary Dr. Liko Osborne on previous recommendations made by the previous Commission of Inquiry on non-delivery of medical supplies.
GMP stands for Good Manufacturing Practice, and that's basically also by WHO guidelines to each country that to their manufacturing plant. And The GMP has 8 the categories of that requirement that must meet the standards, from the quality and even the manufacturing equipment to the manpower and to the product before it becomes marketable.
Further to this explanation, Governor for ECP Alan Bed asked the Secretary about the authorization of the requirements for procurement of medical supplies according to law. Dr. Liko said the pharmaceutical supplier companies that bid did not have the ISO 9001.
The law in our Medicine Cosmetic Act, it's not compulsory, it's not mandatory. It is the reason why we have Section 21 of the regulations that specifies that once you meet the requirements, the license is given.
Secretary Liko said they were looking for a company that has a PNG IPA registration that is compliant to GMP, but there was none qualified, thus the delay in selecting the supplier. Governor Bird suggested that if there were no qualified companies with PNG IPA registration, then why not engage foreign company that meets the requirement? Chairman Jufa, on the other hand, insisted that the NDOH should have continued with post-PNG as the procurer and supplier of the drugs.
And they didn't do it to the satisfaction of, or to a high standard that post-PNG had set. It was exposed during the inquiry that there were serious issues with delivery of drugs. In fact, to this date, there are still serious issues with delivery of drugs. In fact, there was a company that was exposed for being paid to deliver drugs to Calgary. Themselves informed us.
Frieda, Kana, TVWAN News.
Meanwhile, members of the committee were not satisfied that a foreign company other than the PNG state-owned enterprise post-PNG to deliver with low results. Deputy Secretary for Health Department Eva Lionel explained the processes.
Effectiveness relies on our delivery system largely, so transportation and all this. Sometimes they can't deliver quickly enough because of modes of transport in the country. I think it's getting difficult now, the roads getting into the facilities like aid posts, because especially the kits, we have to deliver to the facilities direct, and these are the companies that we got them to do that. To a certain extent, their delivery depends on the transport networks that's available, and sometimes it's hampered by the government or ourselves not paying them quickly enough. They don't deliver on time because of those issues of the distribution in itself.
2 years after undergoing a personal viability training, Sising Dungun was able to build herself a modern home in the village of Intsi in Mori province. Dungun hails from a smart village in Makam district. Intsi in Mori's Makam district is one-of-a-kind village. People there work hard to bring service into the village instead of waiting for handouts. Sising Dungun is one of the many exemplary residents there who dreamt of a better future and determinedly work hard towards her goal. Dungun took part in a personal viability training in 2013 where she learned how to save earnings from her marketing in a small cash box.
Kami practicing posta di sana, I'm ginting rami plalo. Kami plawakim rig banking. Kami plawakim rig box na, kami making banking. Kami ko from my 10 kaya, 20 kaya. Kano binusim. Ko wakim go na, time come opening bisa bank I'm opening. Mani bumi kamantap na. Mistad. Mi wakim friend lo house.
With timber sourced from the bush, Dungun enlisted the assistance of a local carpenter who was also part of the PV training, and he built her home. She paid 500 kina for a portable sawmill to cut her timber, while plywood and roofing sheets were bought in lay. Back then, it cost her 10 kina for each building material to be transported up to Intsi. While the house is currently valued at 17,000 kina, Dungun hopes to add finishing touches to its interior. Intsi community leader and facilitator of the Smart Village concept, Alex Watson, said the villagers funded and built their own modern homes in the village. They also built their own elementary and primary school and cut out their own road system.
Because I think Papua New Guineans should take this initiative forward. Instead of waiting for government and begging and asking, people should take initiative and use their resources to address their issues and start working on it. I want to encourage all Papua New Guineans and people of Papua New Guinea to get 75% job done for themselves, and the government can chip in only for 25%.
And now to the finance news. The Kana closed unchanged at $0.2840 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kana was buying $0.2765 US, $0.3647 Australian dollars, €0.2439 euro, and 33.75 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, all closed lower except cocoa and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed higher as well. And that ends the news segment. In sports, PNG boxer positive and the Civic Pride trial. Welcome back. Papua New Guinea boxers for the past months have undergone intensive training in preparation for trial matches to qualify for the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England in July. With 121 days to go before the Commonwealth Games, boxing medalist John Ume is confident to get through the trials and into the Commonwealth ring.
The Commonwealth Games set for July is fast approaching, and PNG's lone boxer to the Tokyo Olympic Games in 2021, John Ume, is confident to get through the trials and onto the world stage. The Mark Keto coached side in Ume and fellow boxers Charles Keama and Flora Loga have spent most of their time in training in Port Moresby and are hopeful of making Team PNG. Ume said they have prepared well for the trials under Coach Keto and Rafael Baki and have to fight well to be eligible for a spot for international matches. Ume competed at the 2018 Commonwealth Games. In 2019, he won gold at the Pacific Games. His most memorable moment was winning gold medal at the competition between PNG and Fiji in Suva in 2016. PNG has a proud history in sending boxers to the Olympics and Commonwealth Games, and Ume stands ready to represent the country come the Commonwealth Games. Susan Oreape, TV1 Sports.
The EMK Civic Pride Board has announced the Civic franchise will be traveling to Kokopo this weekend for a trial match against the Agmak Rabal Gurias at the Calabon Oval. The Gurias team management through Civic Board member Michael Maroom has embraced the arrangement.
EMK Civic Pride Board Chairman Bradley Simon said the composition of team will highlight 6 young local talents from Wewak who were identified from the 2021 Agmak Civic Pride Nines. Simon said the balance of the team would include players from the early established Spartans Club of Kokopo City League. He said the trial match was formalized at the EMK Civic Pride Board announcement early this month and is confirmed for Saturday. The Civic Pride franchise will soon sign a memorandum of understanding with reputable and foundation clubs in Kokopo, Port Moresby, Lae as feeder clubs. In Kokopo, they have secured Spartans Rugby League Club, Paga Panthers of Port Moresby, and Spiders Rugby League Club in Lae. EMK Civic Pride Chairman said the trial match this weekend is part of the board's vision and plan to establish a pathway through formalizing ties with the 3 clubs, already identified as feeder clubs for the Civic franchise. Simon explained that players scouted from the school's program would be supported in terms of sponsorship in both their academic studies and playing career. The franchise will also assist the clubs with uniforms and other merchandise items. All these activities are strategically focused and aligned with the slogan EMK Civic Pride, Road to 2023 and beyond. Susan Oreape, TV1 Sports.
And that ends the news tonight. Remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.